and that's what's happening. And I am sorry. Boom, boom. The padded room is back on the air, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Darian. I believe we've already met. Thank you very much. It is a solo show this week, ladies and gents. No big deal. It's not the end of the world. You're just stuck with me by myself. Feeling a little lonely up in here. Buddy was supposed to be here, if you can believe that. He is still alive. I've heard from him. I've received more than one text messages from him in the last 3 weeks. So I can say for a fact that Buddy is in fact alive. He had intended on being here this week. He did not show up. Work stuff, biker gang stuff, weird stuff all the way around. You never know what that guy's up to. I like to think that he's at some kind of a Civil War reenactment. He seems like the type, doesn't he? With that the absurd facial hair and the other, I don't know. He just has a sweet disposition about him. I could see him waving a musket at somebody or possibly hunting for a squirrel. I don't know where I'm going with that. Dusty is also not here. He got sent on a last-minute school supply run. Goddamn, man. I know how that goes. And what, dudes. Let me just tell you what a pain in the ass it is having a stud athlete for a kid. I got two of them. Both my kids are stud athletes, and I don't mean to brag. In fact, it's more of a hindrance at this point than anything else, because I got tackle football, I got Pop Warner football going on. I also got flag football going on, and then my daughter comes in. She's playing flag football. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how good my daughter is. My 8-year-old daughter is at flag football. She has been accused of cheating, okay? You don't get accused of cheating if you fucking suck. At first I was pissed. I'm like, oh, really? Really? You think she's playing down, you piece of shit, Karen parents? Go fuck yourselves. Complain to the manager again. But now I'm like, my daughter is playing a predominantly male sport, and she is dominating. And some people have what we call fragile egos, and they can't handle that, and thus they are now complaining to the managers at the Reno Sports Dome. It's hilarious to me. I get a kick out of it, and it makes me so much more proud of her. You know what I mean? She's amazing. She's carving up these offenses like they're Thanksgiving hams. These coaches don't know what to do about her because they think they see a girl on the field and they think it's going to be easy pickings. And then she just rips them to shreds. Okay, I'm going off on a tangent here. I'm trying to do a horror show, not a flag football show. Ooh. Would anybody listen to a flag football podcast? Probably not. There's probably 300,000 of them. As if there's not already 300,000 horror movie podcasts. But here's another one for you. I got horror news. I got listener mail. I am about to kick off the 2025 Terror Dome Championship right here tonight in the padded room. You're going to love that shit. I got a hot one coming at you. It's going to be dude, looking at these teams, looking at this tournament, I'm going to tell you right now, there's no runaway winner. I got my pick lined up. Hopefully you guys considered your choice delicately, but I got a good feeling about one contender in particular. We'll get more into that when we get to the Terror Dome. Right now, I feel like it's time for some horror news.
Horror news.
All right, dudes, here's what I got for you right now. Already, as we speak, a 7th Final Destination is being developed by New Line Cinema. Now, the last one, the one that's, I believe, still in the theaters right now, is kicking ass monetarily. Haven't seen it yet. I heard good things. I'm just not a Final Destination guy. You know what I mean? I have a hard time getting behind a horror movie where the villain is an accident. You know what I mean? It seems very it seemed very silly to me. You know, your seatbelt didn't fasten correctly. That's what I have to be afraid of. At least, I mean, Tony Todd was there, and he was like the face of death, so to speak. But he wasn't the one doing the killing. He was just like ominously warning people about death, you know, death. Okay, so how much longer until we have a horror movie about cancer, which is really stupid? I'm sure there's one already out there, but goddamn, I don't know, man. That's just my jam. Do I need to revisit the Final Destinations? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself, Darian, it's not about the villain. It's about the kills and these elaborate mousetrap. Crazy, this leads to that, which knocks over this, which goes into that, and then the electrical thing backfires. It's an accident, dude. It's an accident. It's a very elaborate string of events that leads to a very embarrassing way to die. At least like in the first couple of Final Destinations, it made sense. Big plane explosion, sure. Big disaster on the freeway, gotcha. Weird stained glass thing swings down, decapitates you, step in front of a bus. I'm with you on all that. Very cool. But it's not really, to me, it doesn't feel like a horror movie. It's more like a cautionary tale about leaving your house. That's stupid. All right, anyway, I guess you like that shit, so there you go. Here's something else. Noah Centineo is going to be playing John Rambo in an upcoming First Blood prequel. I don't know who the hell Noah Centineo is. I assume he's going to get in some crazy wicked shape because there's going to be a lot of abs and weird, which it's going to go this way or that way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of unnecessary shirtless flexing is what I assume is going to be happening here. That's cool. I'm down with it. I like Rambo. Rambo was never my number one of the 80s action dudes. I was always more of an Arnold guy myself, but whatever you're into there, Noah Centineo. Good for you. Richard Stanley. Do you recognize that name? Probably not. You should, because he wrote and directed the latest adaptation of A Color Out of Space with Nicolas Cage, which I thought was a great show. I don't know if this is good news or bad news for him career-wise, but it looks like he is writing the third installment in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I'm just going to let you sit with that for a second and process that. Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? Well, for Richard Stanley, it's probably not the best, but for us, it could be a good thing. I really enjoyed Color Out of Space, but I'm a Lovecraft nutsack. You know what I mean? I don't know if you feel the same about that, what you thought of that movie. A lot of Nicolas Cage being extra Nicolas Cagey, which is okay. I'm down with that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, let's re-examine Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. First one, at the end of the day, was a run-of-the-mill slasher to me. Second one, nominally better, but now we have the emergence of the Pooh friends. Okay, interesting. I like your take on it. Third one, I think really we have nowhere to go but up at this point. If you're some kind of a Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey completionist, you should be excited. If you're not, I don't know. Just continue ignoring the franchise completely, because I don't blame you for that at all, one bit. What else we got here? American Psycho the Musical is headed to Houston next month. This is a stage production, obviously. Why? Why bother? Why? I mean, I understand Evil Dead the Musical. There's a certain kitsch factor to it. You go, it plays in very small theaters. We had a production here in Reno for a little while. The point of it was to go sit in the front row and get some of the spew on you. That was like the whole point. A friend of mine, Ashley, played a tree, and she was one of the rape trees in it. So, okay, well done. I saw it. She did a lot of turning and then flailing of the tree limb, I guess, as the other young ladies sang and danced and pretended to be raped by her. So, excellent, well done. But then, like, when the cheesy special effects happened, everybody in the first couple of rows got a little spew on them, and it made it a little bit more fun. There was an open bar thing going on there. So, I'm not a fan of musical theater. I can't. With the exception of Repo, the Genetic Opera, I can't think of a single musical that I can say that I enjoyed, and that's just from my TV. Never mind going and paying top dollar to sit in a place with gentlemen in tuxedos. I'm not going to do that. No, forget it. I'm not going to go see American Psycho the Musical. Lastly, here's something I'm very excited for, but at the same time, not so much. And I'm going to explain this here very quickly. I'm a huge fan of Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy, of course. They have their long-running series on Shudder, in which they break movies down and tell you everything you need to know about the movies and the writer and the director. And Darcy, if you didn't know, is former porn star Diana Prince. I don't believe she's doing any porn anymore. I've looked. I've done the research. But she always looks great, and she's always wearing a low-cut thing, and she has huge fake tits. They're amazing. But I love that Joe Bob will run you through every little goddamn nuance and little speck of information that you didn't need to know about these movies. He, they, them. By that I mean Shudder, is now releasing Joe Bob's Last Drive-In on BluRay. Now, that's something I'm very excited for. In fact, every release is going to be a double feature of two of the movies he covered. I'm very excited for that. I'm going to probably be purchasing them as they come out. That's the bummer about Joe Bob's Last Drive-In, is that AMC, which owns Shudder, kind of rotates the rights of movies in a weird way. Like, you'll see a movie on Shudder, it'll be up there for, 6-8 months, and you're thinking, I'm going to watch that movie. And then you come back and it's just not there anymore. And you're like, well, what the fuck? I don't know. And then you completely forget about that movie. And then a year or two goes by, and then that movie pops back up again. Which is okay, I guess, if you remembered that you wanted to watch it. But the problem is that when you're going through Joe Bob's movies, like, you watch the original series as it comes out, and it goes week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. If you can't keep up, then you have to catch up a couple months later, and now it's like week 3, week 9, week 11, and then the rest they've all lost. The rest of the movies they've lost the rights to, and you can't watch those shows anymore. So for me, for my own collecting, keeping my completionist attitude, for lack of a better term, I'm going to go ahead and purchase these. The first two are coming out October 14th. This is what the part that I don't particularly care for. It's going to be Suitable Flesh and Mayhem. Now, those are both Joe Lynch movies. Mayhem, I'm not mad at, even though it's a cheesy knockoff of the Belko Experiment. Suitable Flesh. Dude, okay, let's take a look at Joe Lynch's IMDb, shall we? I'm not a huge Joe Lynch guy. And I think it's because, you know what ruined Joe Lynch for me? I'm going to be honest with you. Chillerama. He had a segment in Chillerama. I don't know which one it was, but fuck that movie from start to finish. That's what I say. And fuck Adam Green and fuck Joe Lynch and all those guys. Okay, let's take a look at what we got. We got Chillerama, obviously Mayhem. He did some Wrong Turn 2, which was the comedy Wrong Turn. Yeah, Serpent Skin, never seen that. Suitable Flesh. A couple of Holliston, very nice. He was an actor in Holliston. Victor Crowley, yeah, great. Fuck this guy, man. Hatchet 2. He had some acting gigs. Sweatshop, actually, I liked, but he was just an actor. He didn't direct that. Who directed Sweatshop? I actually liked that one. That was Stacey Davidson. I like Stacey Davidson. All right. Not my favorite. Not my favorite director. Not my favorite episodes of Joe Bob Briggs. When I need something to put on for like 4 or 5 hours, and I'm feeling a hankering for Joe Bob Briggs, those are the last 2 movies that I would go to. That's just me. Is there a Joe Lynch apologist out there? I would love to hear the highlights of Joe Lynch, because I'm not feeling him at all. I feel like he's a doofus, and Suitable Flesh was an H.P. Lovecraft knockoff, but he felt the need to switch all the genders. Barbara Crampton and Heather Graham get naked. Well, Heather Graham gets naked in it, and Barbara Crampton's in it. It's a very loose adaptation of The Thing at the Doorstep. Not a very good one unless you really want to see Heather Graham naked at the ripe old age of, I don't know, late 50s, I think. Mayhem, again, knockoff of the Belko Experiment. Not a very good one. Filled with cheesy humor and dipshit, references to Instagram and all that crap. I'm not a Joe Lynch guy. I'm probably going to buy these 2 because if Shudder and AMC is going to keep releasing these, then I want the whole collection. So that's just me. All right, that's all I got on the horror news. You guys ready for some listener mail?
Listener mail.
Dudes, we actually have an email coming in this week. Oh, it's been a while since I was starting to think maybe this fucking email thing wasn't working. I had to look into it. All the way from Sydney, Australia, here comes our main man, Team, the dummy of horror himself. Let's see what he has to say. Terradome, 28 years later. I got an idea of who he's picking for the Terradome right off the top of my head. Hello, stud muffins. It is I, the man with the biggest balls in Australia. I'd like to jump in quickly to firstly say hello. How are you all? You look great, and I bet you smell amazing as well. Well, thank you very much, Tim. I've been working out. I've been trying to eat better. It's not very easy because, fuck me, when do I have time to eat? I just got to grab like Taco Bell on the way home most of the time. Anyway, so I want to jump in and echo what Alan Cha said last week about Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I also dig that movie. My wife, on the other hand, will not enter a room with it playing. She cannot stand that film, and mainly because of the child alleged content we get, which is understandable. I didn't realize the Terradome was already upon us, so for that, could I please take the Deadites for my pick? If not, then I'll take You Decide Who My Horse Is. Okay, hey, Tim, you are the first person to pick somebody in this year's Terradome. I'm putting you down for the Deadites right now. That's a good pick. That's actually a really good pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about this. Evil Dead Rise, what was that, 2 years ago? We got Evil Dead Burn in production as we speak. If they get that thing fired up, I'm telling you right now, that's going to swing the vote towards the Deadites. Anyway, Tim, I'm putting you down for the Deadites. Tim, Deadites. Got you down. Good pick, my man. I thought for sure he was going to take the Infected. I was wrong. About that. I'll address the Nightmare on Elm Street thing here in a second. Pick my horse. I also got a chance to watch 28 years later, and I have to say, it sucks. It's boring. It's weird. And the ending, it turns into a circus at the end. Let's just say that. That's it for me, guys. Much love, as always, team. Thank you very much for writing in, Tim. Tim, Alan, I believe we are starting a 3-man revival of the 2011 Nightmare on Elm Street. It's just the three of us. It's us against the world, bros. Let's go. Let's go. I don't know why everybody hates that movie. I don't understand that at all. Okay, I would challenge you, and this is, okay. All right, now I'm going off on a rant, you sons of bitches. So this is something I was thinking about doing for next year. I had some thoughts and some ideas, and Dusty and I were kicking around possible schedules for next year. One thought, by all means, inmates, chime in, area code 775-387-0275, or mail at paddedroompodcast.com. One possible option for next year's lineup would be to do all franchises and do it Resurrection of Zombie 7 style, where we just start to finish all the way 1 week at a time, one movie at a time. Now, if we go that route, we can go two possible routes. One route is the big ones, the heavy hitters, in which case we do Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Saw, and Halloween. That would actually take us little over a year, like a year and 2 months, if my math is correct, and assuming no more movies come out in the meantime. The other option would be to do smaller franchises where we go through like Wreck, Candyman, Jaws, the Ring movies, in which case, Blair Witch, we can fit a lot more in, but they're not going to be the heavy hitters. So that's option number 2. Option number 3, which I was kind of excited for, is that we do an entire year of nothing but original versus remakes. So we'll do the original 1 week, we'll do a remake, the remake of the original the next week, and then after the second week, we'll do a little, pros and cons, which one did you like better situation type of a thing. My challenge to you would be this, inmates, all of you Nightmare on Elm Street 2011 haters, watch the first one and then watch the remake. And tell me which one you like better, if you can take your own nostalgia and put it on the shelf for a second. I realize that's a tall order. I have a problem with it myself, but seriously, dude. Come on, man. You going to take Heather Langenkamp over Rooney Mara? Come on! With all that fucking nonsense with her improvised booby trap bullshit. When she comes around the corner in the basement and gooses Freddy and he jumps... Get the fuck out of here! I'm not scared of that guy. Nobody is. We're just waiting for him to say more cheesy one-liners. All right, I'm going off on a rant here. I apologize, Tim. Tim, it's me, you, and Alan, bro. We're starting a revolution, the three of us. All right, thank you very much for writing in, Tim. I got you locked in with the Deadites. Apologies. You're a gentleman and a scholar. You knew that already. I got a few voicemails coming at us. Actually, I only have one voicemail coming at us. It's from our main man in Alabama. Alan's in the house.
Dream, what's up?
What's up, Alan?
Let's see. Pterodome.
What you got?
I want the vampires.
Okay.
Xenomorphs or Cenobites.
Which one?
Mr. Darian, your creep show.
You got me.
What did I watch? SummerSlam weekend, so I watched that.
Cool.
Both nights is a bit too much.
I bet. I get that.
Watching New Final Destination.
What do you think of that?
Those movies are just comedies at this point.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it, but it was wacky.
Yeah.
And I laughed at most of the kills because they were funny. Anyway, that's no meat hook, Pterodome, let's see.
Got you down for
that's
vampires.
It. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Round 1 starts tonight, Alan. Thanks for calling in. Beautiful. I got you locked in with the vampires because that was the first thing you said. You said vampires first and then Deadites and Cenobites. So I'm giving you the vampires, plus Tim already had the Deadites. Right on, dudes. That's all I have on the listener mail. Tim, Alan, you guys are gentlemen. You knew that already. Oh, boy. I guess it's time to get into a movie here, yeah?
My name is Dr. Rose Cotter.
What do you want from me?
Why is it that everybody else who's seen it is dead and you're alive? seen it too.
You have it?
It's smiling at me. Carl? But not a friendly smile. The worst smile I've ever seen. I am not gonna keep running. I have to face it. Rose.
Yeah, it's Shit-Eating Grin from 2022. Oh, that's stupid. I am sorry. But yes, I feel like this movie should have been called Shit-Eating Grin. It's Smile from 2022. I'm sorry. I said I was sorry, all right? 6.5 stars on IMDb, written and directed by Parker Finn, stars Saucy Bacon. That's right. Saucy Bacon. Now, this is the daughter of Kevin Bacon and Keira Sedgwick. I really hope that's a screen name or I'm mispronouncing it, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like her name is Saucy Bacon. Kind of make me hungry a little bit. Jesse T. Usher, that's the son of, famed pop star Usher, and of course Kyle Gallner. We are in Kyle Gallner month this year. It's Kyle Gallner month here in the padded room. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't care for this movie the first time I saw it. I'm going to run you through it. Don't worry. But I was not as mad at it this time. I was a lot more angry at the runtime, I guess, and I guess just the unlikability of Rose, the main character. I don't know. Well, let's get into it, okay? Here, we're going to start off in what appears to be a dilapidated house, and all we're going to get out of this right here is a woman dying in her bed and a young girl kind of standing by, motionless, I guess you could say paralyzed. And we get a little spinny camera move, and then we cut to what we have to assume is present day. We're going to jump right into a mental institution. Okay. Now we can do the math here. We can kind of figure out that the doctor at the mental institution is the young girl that we just saw. And, oh, God damn it. What is this? Hey, what do you know? It's Mr. Tom Hardy coming in way past last minute. He just hit us with a voicemail. I'll play it later on in the show, though. Because I'm already deep into Smile, Tom Hardy. I can't be interrupted. I'm talking about shit-eating grins here, okay? I can't be interrupted by your voicemail right now. I'll play it after the movie. Anyway, we jump into modern-day New Jersey. I can say it's New Jersey because all of the cars in the movie have New Jersey plates. Is that weird that I noticed that? That's something I'm always looking at, is like what the license plates on the cars are. 99.9% of the time they say California. This time it's New Jersey. So, very cool. We're in New Jersey. And we're at this mental hospital. Well, I think it was just a hospital, really. But we have a clinical psychologist there. Her name is Rose. We have to surmise immediately that she was the young girl from the opening flashback sequence with the lady dying and the little girl kind of watching curiously. She's going about her day, checking on patients. There's a regular patient of hers in the waiting room. He's doing a lot of mumbling, and she's like, "Oh, that's Clark. He's harmless. We'll get to him in a second." She goes back to her office. There's a young lady that has infiltrated the hospital and is waiting for her in her office. And she's like, "Oh my God, Jessica, what are you doing here? Your appointment's not till 5. And Jessica just starts ranting and raving. Jessica, college-age girl, looking very grungy. She's going on and on about how she found this thing, and this thing is following her. and she doesn't know what to do, and she thinks she's going crazy, and Rose is going, okay, calm down. I'm going to prescribe this and that, and you're going to be fine. And then just here in a second, Jessica's like, it told me that I was going to die today. And Rose is like, all right, calm your ass down. You're not going to die today. And then Jessica turns around, and she is completely deadpan silent. And she's looking at her like with these blank, expressionless eyes, but she has the titular smile on her face. And then Jessica pulls out a knife, and in a very CGI fashion, cuts her neck from ear to ear in a big red smile, and then blood comes down, and Rose freaks out and calls for help. And that is our opening sequence. Okay, now that's great. I'm with you so far. I feel like here's the real problem behind this movie. I feel like somebody smiled at Parker Finn with like this cold, blank smile, like I could possibly eat you at some point, kind of a thing. And Parker said to himself, that's creepy as shit. I'm going to make a movie about that. And then he immediately started rolling. And, okay. But we didn't really, I don't know. I don't know, man. Did you guys like this movie? I was not a huge fan. I don't know if you could tell. I'm trying to keep that closer to my chest. Okay, so that's very creepy. Rose watched this young lady commit suicide. She has to like go through certain things, certain procedures after something like this happens. The first thing that happens is 2 cops show up to question her about what happened and what's going on and what she saw, what the Suicide E said in her final moments, things like that. And here he is. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, our guy of the hour, Kyle Gallner, showing up as cop number 2, Joel. God damn, do I love this guy. I love this guy. He's a great actor. I think he should have been the star of both of these movies. And if you've seen Smile 2, then you know that like the first 10 minutes of Smile 2 is all Kyle Gallner, and but then he dies, and there's no more Kyle Gallner in Smile 2. I will say I like Smile 2 way better than Smile 1, if that makes anybody feel any better. Okay, anyway, here he is, and he's like, yeah, so him and his partner are there, and they're like, so what happened again exactly? And Rose is a little shaken. She's kind of nervous. She's still got blood on her sweater. She's like, she just showed up and started ranting and raving, and then she smashed my glass coffee table, took a piece of glass, and cut her neck open, and that's, I saw the whole thing. It's gross. Okay, all right, so everybody's kind of, all right, that's weird. Little bit of tension there between Joel, Kyle Gallner, and Rose, Saucy Bacon. Forgive me if I have trouble saying Saucy Bacon without breaking into laughter, because that's the stupidest fucking name ever. Why would you name your kid Saucy Bacon? You know your last name is Bacon. How about Claire Bacon? That sounds great. You go with Saucy. How about Salty Bacon? God damn it. How about Bacon, lettuce, tomato? How about that, Kevin and Kira? You crazy bastards. All right, anyway. Yeah, just call her BLT from now on. All right, I'm sorry. Anyway, there's a little tension there between Joel and Rose. Then we cut to Rose later on that night. She goes home. She's a little frazzled, little frizzle-frazzled, as she should be. She just witnessed a suicide of one of her patients. Very nice house. And we're somewhere in rural New Jersey, but it's like in a wooded area. Like there's not a lot of neighbors. She goes into her house, which is a very nice house, and she keeps the house completely dark. She immediately goes to the fridge, opens up a bottle of wine, and makes herself a drink. Pours herself a glass of wine, I should say. There, in the shadows, she sees what appears to be Jessica smiling back at her, and here we go. Here comes Crazy Town. So, from this point forward in the movie, I'm going to spoil this for you. It came out in 2022. I'm sure you've already seen it. Basically, Rose is going to be fucked with, for lack of a better term. She's going to be fucked with by the smile demon, I guess. I don't know what else to call this thing. This is the start of the fucking with. She thinks she sees her, but she keeps the house like pitch black the entire movie. Of course, it's going to be creepy as shit in there. So eventually she breaks a glass, very scary. We meet Rose's cat, Mustache. Named her cat Mustache. Very, very funny. I see what you did there. And then we're also going to meet Rose's current fiancé, Trevor, played by Jesse T. Usher. He's all right. He looks good. He looks like a guy that Rose would probably want to marry. I have to tell you, every guy in this movie, with the exception of Joel, Kyle Gallner, is a raging pussy. So be prepared for that. A lot of pee-whipped dudes in this movie, starting with Trevor. Trevor comes in and he's like, "Oh, babe. Oh, no, you saw a girl kill herself. Oh, no." And then she's like, "Oh, it's okay. We have to go meet my sister for dinner." So Trevor and Rose go off to dinner, and this is where we get a little backstory. A little unnecessary backstory is that Rose's sister, she basically hates her sister, which is fine. Rose's sister is a bit of a see you next Tuesday, and her husband is also a pee-whipped pussy, so good for him. And there's a little back and forth about what to do about Mom's house. Now, apparently, so cutting back to the original flashback that we saw at the start of the movie, we saw little girl Rose watch her mom die, right? But now we're learning that there was an older sister involved that we didn't see. And what we're going to learn through this very cunty, excuse my French, exchange is that Rose and her sister don't get along very well. There's a lot of one-upsmanship going on here. "Oh my God, Rose, I just bought a house for $250,000. You should get in while the market is hot. Oh, it's so good." And then Rose is like, "Yeah, I would love to, but I'm so busy saving people's lives at the hospital, you bitch." And this goes back and forth in a very passive-aggressive kind of trying to be polite, but still want to, "Hey, go fuck you, man." You know, kind of a way. That's why I like being a guy. You know what I mean? This is the good part about being a guy. If I have a problem with Alan or Tim or Dusty or Buddy, I say, "Hey, Buddy, fuck you." And then Buddy says, "No, fuck you." And then I say, "Fuck me? No, fuck you." And then we go outside and we yell and scream at each other, and we might slap each other or, kick each other in the nuts. All well and done. And when we come back inside, it's done and over with. And me and Buddy and Dusty or Alan or Tim are back to being best friends again. These two bitches hate each other. They hate each other, but they refuse to give each other the satisfaction of knowing that the other one hates them. So they have to pretend to be friends at the same time. It's a very weird thing. I watch my wife do this sometimes. She has a few people in her life that she does not care for at all. But for reasons that I'm not going to disclose on the podcast, these people cannot leave her life. We have to tolerate them when they come around. And the whole time it's like, "Oh, I just bought a house for this." I'm thinking, yeah. Either slap each other in the face or one of you needs to get the fuck out of here. But no, I have to tolerate it because I'm trying to be a good husband. All right, back to the movie. So that's where we're at, and they hate each other, and the whole thing. Basically, the main crux of the contention here is that their mom died, as we saw at the beginning of the movie. The house is still there. They still own the house between the two of them. The sister, who appears to be a real estate agent, really wants to sell the house and get the money. Rose, on the other hand, wants to keep the house and do what with it we don't actually know, because she's just like, "No, we're keeping it." No intention of fixing it or doing any renting it out, maybe, I don't know, but we'll get more into that as the movie goes on. All right, excellent. From there, we're going to ramp up the paranormal activity a little bit. Rose has a couple of nightmares about this fucking thing smiling at her. A lot of smiles going on. One thing we did leave with before the cunty FUs was that Rose needed to be at her sister's son's birthday the next day. And, in a weird passive-aggressive way, her sister was like, well, if you're too important to come to my son's birthday, least you could do is buy a present and drop by the house. And Rose is like, yeah, sorry, too busy saving lives at the hospital, you bitch. She didn't say that, but that's what she meant. And I will see what I can do if I have time between the lives that I save. Oh. So anyway, next day at the hospital, Rose has another nightmare. She wakes up the next day, goes into work. Now, you remember the guy I was talking about waiting in the waiting room that was mumbling to himself? He's been checked in because he went into some kind of a weird fit of whatever. And Rose is walking by his room, and he sit bolt upright in his bed with a shit-eating grin on his face. So she's like, hey, Clark, how you doing? And he doesn't say anything. And then she goes and like, hey, Clark, can you see me? What are you thinking about? And then Clark just stands up and he's like, you're going to die, everybody's going to die. And he's got this shit-eating grin on his face. So Rose is like, oh, shit, back up to room 12. All the orderlies rush in, and when they go into the room, they see Clark resting peacefully on his bed as opposed to on his feet yelling and screaming at Rose. So Rose is like, oh, what the fucking shit? So now we got to cut to Rose's boss, like one of the head doctors there, played by Kal Penn. Remember this guy? It's Kumar from Harold and Kumar. He's put on quite a bit of weight since Harold and Kumar, but he is still a really good actor, I'd say, and terribly underutilized in this movie, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Anyway, we go. She's like, oh shit, what happened? I don't know. She has to go talk to her boss. Her boss is the head doctor, played by Kal Penn, is like, Rose, you witnessed a suicide yesterday. You're a little frazzled. Well, I'm gonna recommend a week's paid vacation starting immediately. Get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna pay you for a week. Go and get up out of here. So away Rose goes, but she's if I were a clinical physician and I had to diagnose Rose, which I'm not. I should probably preface this by saying I have no background in psychopharmacological anything. But if somebody put a gun to my head and said, hey, what's Rose's problem and how are you going to fix it, I would diagnose her with chronic stick-up-your-ass syndrome. She takes herself very seriously, probably a little too seriously, I should say, and everything is a life-or-death matter. But regardless, she's like, okay, fine, you don't want me to come in, I won't come in. She leaves begrudgingly, despite the fact that she just scored a week's paid vacation. Dude, if I went to work tomorrow, all right, you guys know how this works. Anyway, she leaves begrudgingly. She's driving home. She passes a toy store, and she's like, oh, here's a toy store. I got to get my nephew a toy. His party is tomorrow, so I'm going to dip in there, get him a toy. And this is where we get a lot of Parker Finn, the director of this movie, attempting to be, I think, either Osgood Perkins or Roman Polanski. I can't tell, but it doesn't really work. So what we get is a lot of pictures of toys in the toy store that feature smiling kids on the packaging. I see what you're doing, Parker Finn. The problem here is that your runtime is an hour and 55 minutes. Okay? You see where I'm going with this? It's an hour and 55 minutes that I don't necessarily have to spend on you with your horror movie. You're trying to build tension. You're showing all these smiles. Great. The smile, or the shit-eating grin in this case, is like the villain of your movie. All right, you're showing people smiling. It's not scary. I'm not in any way intensified by the packaging on G.I. Joes or electric trains or random people on Facebook smiling for the camera. It's not scary to me, so let's spend a little less time not focusing on smiles, okay? Now, to be fair to Parker Finn, this was his first full-length feature film. He made a lot of short films, good for him, but this was his big comeuppance. And I don't usually root for the studios in these occasions, but I feel like somebody could have been like, hey, Parker, yeah, why don't we got enough footage of people smiling. How about we trim that down a little bit? All right, anyway. She gets the train. She takes it home. She wraps it up very nice. She can't find her cat, Mustache. Why would you name your cat Mustache? I don't know. I have a dog named Rubble, but that's cute because there's a Paw Patrol reference in there. Cats don't have mustaches. All right, whatever. I don't care. You want to name it Mustache? Go ahead. Can't find her cat, Mustache. Excellent. Goes to bed that night. Has more creepy dreams about her patient slitting her own throat. Very scary. Wakes up the next morning, says to herself, hey, I got to get myself over to the old nephew's birthday party there. But before she leaves, we're going to cut back to the hospital. And this is where our main man, Kyle Gallner, steps up. And he shows up and he's like, so I was kind of here. And this is where we find out that Joel, the handsome detective that he is actually the ex-boyfriend of Rose. And he's like, hey, sorry, I didn't know that was your call. If I'd known it was you, I wouldn't have come. Didn't mean to make this any awkward. And she's like, yeah, well, you're making it awkward anyway. Goodbye, Joel. Nah. And then she takes off. In the meantime, we got cut back to the birthday party. This is very stupid. This sequence is wildly out of play right here. Okay, and I think it's kind of a bummer to the movie. It's not. I mean, I think it was supposed to be funny, but you're going for a Roman Polanski, Osgood Perkins vibe, and then you kick this softball at us, and it's I don't know. I'm not into it. Anyway, it's the kid's birthday. Aunt Rose is there. She's feeling a little off because she spent all night, freaking out. And she, listens to the audio of the chick committing suicide. Why would you do that? Don't do that. You probably want to move on as fast as you can. Anyway, she gets to the birthday party. She's got her electric train set wrapped up in a very nice gift package going on. Kid opens it up, and fuck me, it's the dead cat Mustache. Yeah, so that's stupid. That's a stupid thing to do, man. You got a very serious undertone here, okay? You set the movie in a bleak, overcast kind of a January, February area of New Jersey. You got a lot of drab woods, not a lot of sunshine. It's a very depressing movie, which would have been a great juxtaposition to the title, Smile, but now you come in with this birthday nonsense. Rose has a freak out. The kid pulls the dead cat out of the box. She's like, oh my God, it's Mustache. I don't know what happened. And one of the party goers is sitting off in the corner with a shitting grin. So she's like, you see him, don't you? Everybody sees, look at him, he's smiling at me. And then she hauls ass. The sister and her pussified husband are like, we don't think you should see our son anymore. So she leaves, she takes off, and she's like, I don't know what's happening to me. This is where we find out that Rose actually has a therapist of her own, as she should. And I believe there's some kind of a weird bylaw or something where each clinical psychologist has to have a therapist. I saw that once on a show called, I believe it was Therapy, but I don't know. It starred Gabriel Byrne. Rose has her own therapist. And you'll recognize this young lady because she is played by a very, I I wouldn't say a well-known actress, but somebody that you would recognize. Her name is, I'm pulling it up as we speak. When I'm done looking at Joe Lynch's fucking ass. Her name is actually coming to me. She played Calamity Jane in Deadwood. Her name is Robin Wiegert, and she plays Dr. Madeline Northcott. She is Rose's therapist. Rose goes and sees her therapist, and she's like, I don't know, doctor, I feel like I'm going... And then her therapist is like, well, that's a lot to go through, and things are a little weird for you right now, and I'm sorry. She does a very good job of being what I assume is clinically professional. But she's like, in the end, Rose just kind of gets up and hauls ass out of her house. So now that's kind of weird. Okay, interesting. Now Rose goes home to her fiance, Trevor. Trevor's a little off-put because he's like, hey, man, why weren't you at work today? You didn't tell me about getting suspended or whatever the hell. Trevor's a bit of a pussy. Not as big of a pussy as the sister's husband, but still a pussy. Trevor's like, hey, man, maybe we should, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. What are you even doing? Rose then is like, okay, I gotta, what the hell? Okay, so she goes and digs up. This is where we get our Scooby Gang action. Rose then digs up the medical history of the young lady Jessica that we saw commit suicide. We found out that Jessica herself witnessed a suicide about a week earlier of one of her college professors, a guy by the name of Gabriel Guzman. So she's like, okay, I need to go talk to the family of Gabriel Guzman. So she goes and tracks her, and it's a lot of Scooby Gang action here. Goes and talks to the widowed wife of Gabriel Guzman. She's very bent about the whole thing, very upset about her husband's passing. Gabriel has himself a conspiracy room, which is pretty cool, and she gets granted access to it, and it's nothing but pictures of smiles everywhere, very creepy, hand-drawn kind of... charcoal renderings, things like that. Just whatever you could think of that would make this movie more creepy. And of course, all the newspaper clippings and things like that and all that shit. Very scary. And now Rose is seeing more and more smiles on people, which is freaking her out. But at the same time, they're just goddamn smiles. It's not the end of the world, man. And like I said, this movie should be called Shit It and Grin, because the smile, the smile that we all know and love, seeing somebody smile, is fine, but the blank stare, shit eating grin, that's a whole other situation. So she's like, okay, I don't know what to do, I'm going crazy. Now she's having weird visions of her mom and things like that. So she goes back to Joel, and she's like, hey, Joel, I know you're my ex-boyfriend, and I probably shouldn't be talking to you or whatever, but, what, you think you can track down this Guzman guy? What happened to him? Did he file any kind of reports or anything like that? So, now, first off, Joel, being the fucking stud that he is like, oh, you're just going to show back up at my place? He's got a great apartment. He's a detective. He's like, it's my one day off. But he gets on the computer and he's like, let me see what I can find. Finds out that Guzman himself witnessed a suicide about a week before he committed suicide at a conference in a hotel elevator. So he's like, oh, fuck. Pulls up the pictures. Ah, shit, gross, nasty. And then he digs into the suicide that was a lady, and he digs into her suicide and realizes that she witnessed a suicide before. So now we have a fun daisy chain of suicides going back months prior to this. So good news, Rose has kind of figured it out. But in all of this weird evidence chain, we did find one guy that survived, and he's in prison now for killing somebody else. So our next best move is to go track that dude down and find out what he did to survive, because he witnessed a suicide. He didn't kill anybody, but he killed somebody else. So that was like a break in the chain. So Joel, being the detective that he is, along with Rose, being the clinical psychologist that she is, use their connections to get a interview with the guy in prison. Off they go. They find this dude. They track him down. He refuses to talk as long as there's a cop present. So the cop is like, Joel is like, okay, I'll wait outside. Rose is like, hey, man, you're already convicted. I don't particularly care about that. I just want to know what you know about this weird smile thing. And this is where the guy is like, oh my God, you know too. She's like, yeah, I think I have the fucking smile virus or whatever it is. How do I get rid of it? And he tells her, you got to kill somebody, but you got to make a real mess out of it. You got to do it gross. You got to do it hard. You got to make a real mess. That's the only way that this thing is going to leave you alone. So she's like, I can't kill anybody. Jesus Christ. So now she has kind of resigned herself. She flees out of there. Her and Joel go back to his place. Then she goes back to her fiance. Her fiance is waiting at home for her with her therapist. And they're like, Rose, this is an intervention. We need to talk to you about the way you've been acting. Things are not cool right now. So Rose sits down and she's like, Jesus Christ, apparently I just saw somebody commit suicide, which led me to kill my own cat and wrap it up in a gift box for my nephew. My sister wants nothing to do with me. Other than that, I'm fine. She goes on this whole diatribe. At this point, the fiance is like, you know what? I can't be around you. You're too fucking crazy. All this shit about demons and bullshit. I'm out. He doesn't end the engagement, but he's like, I'm just gonna give you some space. So he leaves. Great. He wasn't doing anything to help at all. Joel goes back to his place. He's like, I gotta get away from her. At this point, Rose is like, I got to talk to somebody about this. And now she's got this big fat envelope full of crime scene pictures and video files and things like that. So she goes and tries to talk to her sister about it. And her sister is like, oh my God, you're crazy just like Mom. I can't even talk to you right now. You're going on about smiling demons and bullshit. And Rose is like, it's not a fucking bullshit thing. She goes in her car, and this is one of the best parts of the movie. The sister comes out after her, but then the sister turns into this swinging head yo-yo demon thing, which is kind of funny in a weird way. And then Rose punches the gas out of there. All right, so now what Rose wants at this point is some kind of sedation. She's looking for medication to even her out. So she goes back to the hospital thinking she can write herself a script, but she has this bananas vision of her stabbing her old patient Clark repeatedly in the chest while in the elevator. Turns out that didn't actually happen, which is good for Rose. What did happen, though, which is actually worse for Rose, is that she fell asleep in her car in the parking lot, and that whole sequence was a big nightmare. Unfortunately, Cal Penn is walking out just as Rose is waking up, and he's like, wow! And now Rose is looking very haggard, sunken in eyes, cheeks. Looks like she's on meth. Very pale. Her teeth are okay, so she's got that going for her. But Cal Penn is like, hey, how about instead of driving this car, you just come inside? Just come inside and talk. We're just friends. You're still on suspension. This is off the clock. Just come inside and talk to me for a little bit. And Rose is like, oh, no way, gotta get out of here. Throws the car in reverse, hauls ass, goes peeling down the highway. Okay. Well, that happened, and technically at this point, other than her cat, Rose has not hurt anybody. But Cal Penn, being the good doctor that he is, notified the police. He's like, hey man, this crazy lady's out there. We could probably bring her in. So that makes its way back to Joel. Joel calls Rose. He's like, hey, dude, I just got an APB on your fucking ass. What are you doing? And she's like, all right, listen, I know what's going on. All right, this demon is coming after me. It smiles, fucking cocksucker. Basically, I either have to kill somebody in a very gruesome, messed up way, or I have to kill myself in a fashion in which somebody else is going to witness, so that then the smile, shit-eating grin demon can follow that person. Okay? So Joel is like, well, all right, so what, I mean, Joel's on her team, and he's kind of witnessed some of this fucking fiasco, so he's buying into the smiling demon thing. He's like, all right, well, what are you going to do? She's like, I'm going to the only place I know, and it's completely secluded. There's nobody out there. I'm going to go out there and confront this thing. So he's like, what are you doing? And then she hangs up on him and hauls ass. Now, this is where we find out that Rose's, okay, I don't know what's going on. Apparently Rose and her sister were raised in a cabin in the woods, because Rose drives directly to her mom's old house, which is like this beat up old shack in the middle of the woods, and there's nobody around for miles, and it's completely abandoned. There's boards all over the windows. She gets there. She's like, okay, here I go. This is supposed to be very creepy, okay? She gets in there. It looks very Evil Dead. She's walking around with a fucking lantern because there's no electricity. She's like, okay, you fucking demon, here I am. Of course, this is when she has to confront the demon, I guess, parading as her mother. So she comes around the corner, and her mother is standing there in her underwear, and her mom's like, Rose. Now, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had seen this movie before, and I was not all that fond of it. Watching it now, I'm not as mad at it, but there are some things that I'm looking for that I recalled didn't make a lot of sense to me the first time I saw this movie. This is one of them. Rose comes around the corner. Her mom is there. Her mom is notably Hispanic and speaks with a Hispanic accent. That's great, except she has two lily-white daughters who have zero accent. One of them has blonde hair and blue eyes. Is that going to be explained? I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just something that threw me off. She comes around the corner, and there's her mom, dead, been dead for years, standing in the darkness, and she's like, Rosa, you left me to die, you stinky bitch. Okay, her mom sounded a lot less like Nacho Libre than I'm doing it right now, but that's exactly what she sounded like, and that's what she looked like too. She wasn't wearing a luchador mask, obviously, but she's like, Rosa, how dare you do this to me? I was your mother. And Rose is like, you were crazy and mean, and I didn't know what to do. So this is part of the big explanation that we find out that Rose actually didn't watch her mom commit suicide, as we were led to believe earlier in the movie. She actually kind of took a step back as mom was dying, and then we cut to a flashback of Rose's mom paralyzed on the bed. She's like, Rosa, I made a terrible mistake. You must go and find some help now. I might die. And then Rose just kind of goes, wow, and walks out of the room, leaving her mom to die, purposefully. All right. Rose was not a likable character to begin with, but now she's also a murderer. And she still suffers from stick-up-the-ass syndrome. Creepy stuff. But now, as she's walking out of the room and explaining to the ghost of her mom that she just didn't actually like her, her mom comes out of the room, and now she's got the shit-eating grin on her face, and she's like 19 feet tall. She's now the ogre, except with clothes on, from Barbarian. She's like, Rosa, what are you doing? And Rose is hauling ass out of there. Mom tackles her. Rose takes the lantern and smashes it into her head, lighting Mom and the cabin on fire, and then Rose hauls ass out of the cabin, gets in her car, and drives away. Now, I was ready, willing, and able to be very pissed off at this movie if that was how it ended. You mean to tell me this smiling demon body hopper thing just needed to be killed? None of the umpteen number of people that led up to Rose catching this could have figured that. Okay, you motherfucker. Luckily, Parker Finn read my mind and he said, well, okay, you're right. I feel like he got to the end of the movie and somebody tapped him on the shoulder and said, that's kind of dumb. Let's figure a different way around this. So Rose is driving down the freeway thinking that she just killed the smiling demon. Hauling ass. Decides to go all the way to Joel's apartment, and she's like, Joel, I killed it. I realize now, and then we get a whole epiphany of what a bitch Rose has been. She's like, I have walls around myself because I'm scared of being hurt, and I never let you in those walls, and I'm sorry, okay? Can you just please let me stay here tonight? And Joel is like, oh. Joel's like, oh, fucking ex-girlfriends, dude. God damn it. Reluctantly, he's like, yeah, you can stay here tonight. So she comes in and she's like, oh, thank you so much. And then he's like, you can stay here forever. And then he's got the shit-eating grin on his face. And Rose is like, Joel, no! And she goes running out of his apartment. And then, but it's not actually his apartment. It's the cabin in the woods. And she goes running into the woods, right? But luckily, she's like, what the fuck? I'm back here. Joel, real Joel, I guess, is now pulling up. And he's like, Rose, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, don't come in here. She goes running back into the apartment, or the cabin in the woods. And Joel is like banging on the door. Rose, don't do anything. Eventually, he gets in there. And then when he gets in there, Rose is just kind of standing in the dark. And then she turns around and she's got the shit-eating grin. And Joel's like, Rose, what are you doing? And then she takes a big thing of gasoline and dumps it on herself and lights herself on fire. And that's the end of your movie. That is 1 hour and 55 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. It's... I will say I like the second one a lot better. It's much more better paced. One of the problems that I have with this movie is that it did not need to be an hour 55. We could have cut this down to an hour 30. Problem is that Parker Finn was trying very much to be Roman Polanski. So we got a lot of unnecessary 30 to 45 second shots of Rose staring out the window. Rose looking at fucking salt containers of the girl with the umbrella and a big smile on her face. A lot of Rose driving and looking perplexed. A lot of other packaging that has smiles on it. Dude, I get what you're doing here. You got this concept for a demon with a creepy smile. I'm with you on that. And by the way, the ad campaign that followed this movie, we had people going to ball games, hockey games, showing up on the red carpet, just doing the creepy smile and staring at the camera. It's fun. I like that. I like when horror movies go that extra step to try to get it out there. But the movie itself, not that good. I'm going to be honest with you. I was not that impressed with this. The ending especially. I feel like the original ending was Rose smashing the fucking lantern on the head. And then they were like, well, let's tack an extra 13 minutes on this somehow. So then we rolled it back to basically have her commit suicide instead. I will say, Smile 2, much better. Much better. Well done on Smile 2, Parker Finn. This one, not my favorite. What did you guys think? I would love to hear somebody tell me what you thought of Smile. Area code 775-387-0275. Mail at paddedroompodcast.com. I wanted to defend this movie to me. Let me know what you thought. I want to hear it. In the meantime, I'll take myself a little break. Coming right back with the Terradome. Let's go!
Strange what desire
Hey inmates, if you like what you hear, head over to the Padded Room Facebook group and support us through the Patreon link with a small monthly donation. Check out the T-Villain link at paddedroom.podbean.com and grab some t-shirts. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hey yo.
Hey yo.
How's my favorite degenerates this week?
Hey, we're here. I'm here.
Everyone's doing well. Hey, got to get in there real quick.
What do you think?
Let's see, on the educating department.
Come on now. Creep
show.
You got me.
Right, yeah.
You did it.
On the what are you looking at department.
Anything fun?
Didn't really catch much. Talked Willy's Wonderland. Kids wanted to see it again. And then...
Always a classic.
I caught one called Explorer from Another World.
That sounds dumb.
Like an Ed Wood fucking ripoff.
Okay.
But I tell you what,
why would you do that?
I swear it's an Ed Wood ripoff. I think the director was like Woody Edwards or something.
Okay.
It was like very obvious. But
you want to get cute with it? Is that
not
what you want?
Not that great, but I tell you one thing I did like about it, 40 minutes. It got in, it got out, it knew exactly what it was, didn't fucking hang around.
Okay. That's fair.
Oh, on the Terror Dome, I was going back and forth, man.
Decisions.
Going back and forth. Should I go with these guys? And then I flashed back.
Okay.
To something that you had said earlier in the episode.
Fish people.
And
Fish people.
You mentioned that the xenomorphs.
Yes.
And how there was like bat xenomorphs with
wings.
There was.
Correct.
The xenomorphs with wings.
They can fly.
Undefeatable.
Yeah.
They can fly.
They can
right?
do that.
So put me down for the fucking xenomorphs.
You're not going to take fish people. All right, Tom Hardy. I got you down for the xenomorphs. Now, nobody has taken fish people yet, which I find surprising.
With wings.
All right.
Anyway, hope all is well. Love you, my family. Bye now.
Thank you for calling in, Tom Hardy. Late, as usual. That's okay. Not a big deal. But now, showtime. It is time to get into the 2025 Terror Dome Championship. It's a teams competition this year, and we're kicking things off right in the Asylum Conference, round 1. Here we go.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in. I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy. I'll kill you all. I'll be the great you ever had. My worst dream come true.
6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Welcome to the Terror Dome.
March 21st, the day they'd been preparing for all year long, the annual purge. For Chad and Eric, it was like Christmas and Halloween rolled up into one holiday. Months spent preparing, cleaning weapons, acquiring body armor, and refining kill lists were all about to pay off. Things are going to go a bit different this year, though. Instead of the usual inner-city scum, Chad had a different approach in mind. Getting away from Dallas and heading out into the sticks would offer a new kind of purge. Rural southwest Texas had found itself in the news of late. A pandemic of grave robbings had broken out, and as yet no suspects had been identified. Bodies dug up, posed in grisly works of art, and often showing signs of being partially devoured. Eric had done the research and had traced the crimes back to a small rural family farm. Tonight, the purge would begin, or it would end. Teams competition, we have the Purgers versus the Sawyers, inmates. What do you think of that shit? That's a tough one, man. Purgers oftentimes bring explosives, firearms, vehicles, fucking get a chain around your front door and pull it off. But the Sawyers, in their own environment, often considered like a weird South Texas cannibal mafia, right? You've seen Leatherface. You saw what Verna Sawyer could do. Drayton, in his prime, a beast. You saw, dude, when he took his shirt off, he had some abs on him. I'm just saying. And think what you will about that movie. They still did some damage, despite the weird Quentin Tarantino juveniles on the run situation. I don't know, man. It's a tough one for me. I think I got to give this one to the Purgers. I'm sorry. I know you're mad at me. I know you don't like that. I know you like the Sawyers more than the Purgers. Purgers are usually just a bunch of young Republicans. That's kind of the, I don't know, the stigma that they carry, I guess, because they're always so polite. Oh, we're here to exercise our right to our government-mandated purge, and we would like to get into your home to find the scum and rid you of him. You know, but at the same time, they bring guns and explosives. And that's not something that I think Leatherface can deal with, or the Sawyers as a clan, you know? There's a lot of infighting there. Drayton doesn't get along with Bubba. Nubbins, depending on which movie you're looking at, he might just be a rotted husk. Don't even get me started on Chop Top. That guy is out to lunch. I don't think he ever came back. I'm going to take the Purgers in this one. I'm making a bold statement here. I know a lot of you guys aren't going to agree with me. That's fine. I'm going Purgers on this one. Give me your votes by next weekend, mates. It's the Purgers versus the Sawyer clan. Area code 775-387-0275 or mail at paddedroompodcast.com, of course. I would love to know what you think of this matchup. It's a tough one, and it's only going to get tougher from here, dudes. I got weeks, months, taking us well into the new year, full of writing and trying to make these goddamn things make sense. And then while you're pondering that matchup, though, I got to tell you what kind of movies I got to watch this week. I got quite a few of them in, actually, if you can believe that shit. What are you looking at?
What are you looking at?
Oh, I got a few things in, man. Like I said last week, I feel like my personal spooky season has already started. So I'm trying to ramp up the horror movie viewing. It's been interesting so far. Territory from 2024. Found this guy on Tubi. Interesting show. Basically what you have is an area of the Sierra Nevada mountain range that has been closed for years due to irregular number of disappearances happening therein. A young wife, school teacher, grows a pair, and she's like, I got to get in there. I got to find out what's going on. So she goes in there, and what she finds is, for lack of a better term, a dimensional rift, which gets her curiosity, so she just dives right in and ends up in the exact same spot. But I have to assume, like, either in another dimension or another time. That's all well and good, but the bad news is that her husband figures it out. And he's like, oh, that crazy bitch, she went over there. I'm going to go in there. She doesn't know anything about survival. I'm going to go in there and find her and save her. He goes in there, sees the dimensional rift, and he's like, yeah, I don't know what it is. And by dimensional rift, I mean like a weird green spot on a tree. He sees it. He's like, I'm not going in there, you crazy. But then a couple days go by, and he still can't find his wife. So then he's like, all right, I better go in there and find her. But he ends up in a totally different dimension. And now their two dimensions are like butting heads. I'm not going to ruin this for you. I'll say it's a decent show. Worth checking out if you're interested. Watched that. Watched also Twice Dead from 1988. Do you remember this one? You've probably seen it. Family buys a house, sight unseen, like a old mansion in the middle of Los Angeles. Turns out it's like a old movie star's mansion. They get there. The place is dilapidated. There's a gang of toughs kind of meandering about. And 99% of the movie is the family trying to get these toughs out of their house. And by toughs, I mean a dude named Silk, a dude named Crip. Not Crips. He's not affiliated with the Crips at all. He's Crip. The fat kid from Creepshow 2 on a motorcycle. Todd Bridges from Different Strokes. And it's mostly like siblings versus 80s toughs warfare in like very silly Home Alone fashion. And then at the end, the ghost of the old movie star possesses one of the toughs. And it's a whole ass thing. There is a very magnificent set of breasts in this one, so be prepared for that. Clown in a Cornfield, 2025. Okay, I've heard a lot of things about this. I'm sure you have too. Not a bad show. It's not bad. I feel like we kind of tried to capitalize on the Terrifier tidal wave, and we're trying to just put out clown content all of a sudden. The reveal at the end of this one is actually pretty cool, and I think Dusty talked about it a couple weeks ago. He saw it. He kind of broke it down for us. I find his assessment to be accurate. It's fine. It's original. I'll give you that, but you're going a little hard into the literal clown in a cornfield. So there's that. There's some pretty good kills in it. Might be trying to jumpstart a franchise. I'm not mad at that if they are. There's a lot of room there, but not. It's. I'm going to say it's fine. I'm going to say it's an okay movie. Lastly, I watched two movies that are exactly the same movie, but one of them was great and one of them was a pile of shit. I know that's weird. That's weird for you to hear that I watched the exact same movie twice and I loved one and hated the other. Allow me to explain, okay? Do I give you the good news or the bad news? I don't know. So these two movies are exactly the same, and I'm going to tell you. I'm going to break it down plot-wise, and then I'm going to tell you where they diverged and where I didn't care for one and I loved the other. Okay, so in both of these films, you have a family moving to a small town into a house with a history, okay? You know where we're going with this already. In both of these movies, the entire town or neighborhood in one of them knows the history of the house and knows what's going on, okay? Now that's great, and these families are not meant to live very long, all right? So in one of these movies, we went completely bland. Like, there's very little scares, there's very little nuance. It literally looks like somebody shat this script out in a weekend because we had the budget, we had the cameras, we just had to get rolling on something. On the other movie, it's very Quentin Tarantino. It's very tenuous. It's very atmospheric. The color palette is there. The atmosphere is there. The way the story is told is original and innovative. It's the exact same story, dude. It's the exact same story. Shall I pull the veil off your eyes and tell you the two movies I'm talking about? I think I should. The movie that sucks is a movie called Candlewood from 2025. I found this on Tubi. I said, dude, does this happen to you where you're trying to find a new horror movie to watch and you're scrolling and 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 scrolling, and you're going, seen it, look stupid, seen it, look stupid, seen it, look stupid, look stupid, seen it, look stupid. After about an hour of that, I just go, fuck. I'm going to go to Tubi. The first thing I haven't seen, that's what I'm watching. That's how I ended up with Candlewood from 2025. It's boring as shit. It's that same vein of movie, dude. I don't know how this happens. Can somebody explain this to me, please? It's a horror film without the horror. You feel me on this? It's like somebody wrote a script and said, hey, here's a very scary script. I'm going to scare some people with it. It's going to be fucking freaky, freak you out. If shot correctly, it's going to revolutionize things. And then something happens, and they're like, take this out, take that out, take this out, take that out. And what you get is a very bland, boring, forgettable acting. Like there is nothing. This pisses me off more than, what's that movie I hate? Diary of the Dead. Diary of the Dead I hate. That's a garbage film. But this pisses me off more. If we dug up George Romero and asked him what he was thinking about Diary of the Dead and what happened there, he would have a good explanation. He'd be like, oh, I thought I was going to make something for the kids and found footage. It was marketable, blah, 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 blah. But then you look at something like Candlewood and you're like, what? I don't understand how this movie gets. I don't know. Who, what? Okay. All right. Bear with me here, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody, before the movie actually hits the streaming service or the cinema or the Blu-ray or the Redbox or wherever it goes, somebody has to sit down and watch it and give it a thumbs up. All right? Somebody, somewhere has to do that. That's a ubiquitous process in the movie-making industry that somebody has to look at it and then give it a thumbs up. Who the fuck is in charge of that with a movie like Candlewood? It is boring, start to finish. There is nothing frightening about it. Okay, it's rated PG. Fine, I get that. I understand the logic behind that, okay? You want to make a PG movie because you want, quote-unquote, teenage asses in seats. Okay, this movie's not going to the theater. That's up front. We know that. So you can erase asses and seats from the equation. But, okay, you want to make it streaming but still family friendly? Is that what we're saying? Okay. All right. No, I'm with you on that. And it has been done successfully in the past. The Americanization of The Ring, I believe, is rated PG-13. Frightening movie. Love it. A lot with the visuals, a lot with the guttural darkness and the little girl in the well. Very scary movie. Candlewood, zero. None of that. There is nothing even remotely frightening or disturbing or even memorable about Candlewood. But I digress. Now, I watched another version of Candlewood that I very much enjoyed. Had everything all the things I was just complaining about were all present in the next version of that movie. And that movie is 825 Forest Road. Now, that, my friends, is a horror film. It is meant to disturb. It is meant to disrupt. It is meant to sit with you after the movie's over. It is meant to make you think, what the fuck is really going on in my house? More to the point, what the fuck is really going on in my neighborhood/town? That is a horror film. That is a ghost story, a demonic house possession situation, supernatural entity, whatever you want to call it, that is meant to frighten you. Candlewood, I don't know what they were going for. You know what I'm saying? And you can find, these movies are a dime a dozen. Go to Tubi, pick a movie with, just go to horror and then pick the first movie with a house. It's going to be this same kind of mayonnaise, watered down, PG-13. Just, what, who the... Oh, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I do not understand this. I should start another podcast called how? How does this even make sense to anybody? I can see the guy at the end of 825 Forest Road being like, bro, that was gnarly, and that is scary, and the whole town, the sequence with the art gallery was fucking kick-ass, the sequence with this, the way they kind of Tarantino'd it and put it all, kind of shuffled it together, there's a weird time loop thing going on, that's original. I mean, it's not original, but at the same time, I'm much more a sucker for an atmospheric film. You know what I'm saying? Draw me in. Make me feel uncomfortable. That's why I watch horror movies. I think that's why we all watch horror movies, is because we're looking for that guttural, visceral fear. Well, not necessarily fear, but at the same time, that uneasiness. You know what I'm saying? Candlewood didn't even try. I don't know what they were trying for. Okay, I'm going off on a rant. I've done about 10 minutes on boring Tubi bullshit. So I'm going to tell you, do not watch Candlewood. And it's actually making me rethink a lot of things about horror movies. Because in our journey through the Tubi kind of landscape and the Amazon Prime landscape and this weird marketability... oh, boy. I have had a beer. I'm sorry. Marketability of horror films and the necessity to create this PG-13 thing and this family-friendly, kind of frightening, but don't really want to scare anybody thing going on. What are we doing, dude? This is why I'm here. This is why the padded room exists. I am here to find you the diamonds in the rough. I am here to provide you the service of telling you to stay away from movies like Candlewood. Why? I shouldn't have to do this. There should not be a Candlewood, man. How does that fucking movie get made? And more to the point, who the fuck put it in the horror section? It should be in the, it should be on the Hallmark channel, I feel like. It should be in the Hallmark, slightly uneasy channel. I don't know. I don't want to go off anymore on this because I've already done enough time. Stay the hell away from Candlewood. 825 Forest Road. Excellent movie. Love that one a lot. Going to pick that up on Blu-ray. I don't know if it's even out there yet, but I'll find it and I will buy it and I will forget about Candlewood as soon as I'm done recording this episode. As should you, my friends. Okay, on to some immersion therapy.
Immersion therapy.
You know what I should do? Not to draw this Candlewood thing out anymore. But I have had a lot of success on Twitter going after like directors of independent films that I really liked. And enjoyed and get them on the show, and I talked to them about their their inspiration and things like that. I had what's his name? The guy from I've had more than a few on here, and they're always very calm. They're always very cool. I'm always very congratulatory. Hey, what was your inspiration for this? I should act like I'm a big fan of the director of Candlewood. Get him on the show, and then just be like, "What is your fucking problem, man?" All right, enough about Candlewood. I'm sorry, I'm digressing. Immersion therapy. Has anybody else seen Climax other than me? I was hoping to get Dusty's opinion. I know I can almost guarantee he actually watched it. I'm curious to hear what he thinks. Hopefully we can get that from him next week. I put that in the same shelf as the Neon Demon, sorry. It's a great show. I loved it, but I'm never going to watch it again. I would put it on like as hey, come over to my house. I'm going to put this movie on. You tell me what you think, kind of a deal. You know what I mean? It's not something I would watch just on my own. I think that opening dance number is insane, right? I don't know how many times they had to do that, but it was ridiculous. Same thing with the Neon Demon. I liked it a lot the first time I saw it because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Then I came back and made Monica and Buddy watch it, and I was like, this is a lot of modeling drama and not a lot of actual horror, so I don't know what's happening. And I kind of feel like, but I digress in putting Climax on the same shelf as the Neon Demon. Because Climax at least keeps you moving. You know something is wrong in this situation. Things get progressively worse as you go. Whereas the Neon Demon is like, okay, something's weird here. But then 120 minutes of modeling drama and then somebody gets eaten. So there you have it. I will say I like Climax better than the Neon Demon, although they're very similar in certain ways. Your immersion therapy is going to be for Dusty. I'm aiming this right at Dusty because there's a lot of movies I've seen that he hasn't. So I'm going to tell him and you, if you have time, to watch Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-orama. You can find this bad guy streaming on Tubi. This is the pinnacle of our luxury as horror fans. A lot of people can't do this, but we can. We can fall in love with movies that we know are bad. Sorority Babes and Slimeball Bowl-orama, it's a bad movie. You know it. I know it. I've seen it 150 times. There are so many things wrong with it that it, in no realm or reality, should anybody like this movie ever, except I'm madly in love with it. And I have been since I was, 9 years old. And anytime it's on, I have to watch it. I own several copies physically. And I don't know. That's just where we live as horror fans. The worst movies, for whatever reason, hit a trigger with us. And we fall in love with them. And there we are. And I don't expect Dusty to fall in love with it, but I would like to hear his feedback. So there you have it. Check out Sorority Babes on the Slimeball Bowl-orama, inmates. Streaming on Tubi right now. We'll do the same, and we can compare notes next week. But now, it's time for a round of Who's Your Daddy?
Who is Daddy?
First, my clues from last week. By 2025 standards, you might call me an abusive dad. Came home, wife made me a highball. I put my members-only sweater on and hunkered down by the fire. It's mid-fall, so I got carved pumpkins outside, and then I went upstairs and I found my son reading a trash comic book, so I had to backhand his ass, the son of a bitch, and throw the comic in the garbage because, that's what dads are for, babe. That's what dads are for. Unfortunately, he ordered a voodoo doll out of the back of the comic book, and the next morning it's going to show up, and I'm going to have some severe neck pain as a very famous special effects artist is putting the comic book into the back of a garbage truck, so there's that. Who might I be? I'm, of course, Creep Show. You know it. You probably figured out who our spotlight is going to be on next month. But in the meantime, you got to figure out who I am this week with these clues. I am, of course, a hard-boiled detective, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of what seems to be a recurring spree killing throughout the country. So every year on Halloween, there's like a stabbing spree in, on, or around my little town here. It might not be my town because we had to cancel Halloween a few times. It might be the town over, and it might be the town over from that. But every year, somebody gets stabbed to death on Halloween, and sometimes it's more than one person. Good news, I think I figured it out what's going on, and I've kind of like tracked the pattern of movement, and I think I know where this guy's going to go next, so I got to haul ass over there. Unfortunately, there's a young lady who's getting ready to go trick-or-treating, or I think she was going to some kind of a Halloween party, and this dude shows up, and he has got some sick, like ninja style killer moves, like a lot of like kung fu style, stab you in the top of the head type of things going on. He's an animal, this guy. Who might I be, you ask? Tune in next week and I'll drop some knowledge on you, inmates. In the meantime, I think that's going to about do it for me. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening this week. Sorry for the solo show. I know you guys hate this. Tune in next week for The Passenger here in Kyle Gallner month. Very excited for this. Like, comment, subscribe wherever you heard this show. That helps our visibility quite a bit. We do have a Patreon campaign going. Just head on over to paddedroompodcast.com. Find all the stuff you need to know about us there, all the links, all the backlog of shows. You can listen to any movie you want to hear. Just go over there, hit the search button. We probably covered it. I mean, it's been 600 and almost 90 episodes, so we're not in danger of running out of horror movies, but we might be getting close to the halfway. I don't know where we are. In the meantime, for Dusty in absentia, Buddy in absentia, vampires, Purgers and Sawyers fighting each other to the death, shit-eating grins wherever they may be. They're not actually that threatening. It's usually just a passive-aggressive dick bag. Fucking spooky season. I say it kicks off now. Why not? Middle of August, dude, there's going to be a Spirit Halloween store about a stone's throw from my front door. Take my paychecks. Take my debit card, dude. Get rid of it all. Just give me a bunch of fucking creepy bullshit. I love it. And the Padded Room Podcast, I'm afraid visiting hours are over.